Mrs. Gandhi, I must ask you, did you not concoct a threat to the survival of the state in order to ensure your own survival in power?
I'm afraid that's a very rude question, and it's entirely baseless. There's nothing at all to base it on.
Well, the Shah Commission, to which I must refer, because it was a commission set up by the government, it's a judicial inquiry, and he is an eminent judge, says very clearly that the reason for, and if I can quote Justice, if I may, you've said I've asked you a rude question.
No, but
can I just defend?
No, may I just say one thing?
I would just like to say one thing about what is in the report, if I may, because what he says is that the only evidence he can find is the Allahabad judgment, and on the basis of that, he says thousands were detained and a series of totally illegal and unwarranted actions followed involving untold human misery and suffering. That's why I put the question. I don't put it out of a desire to be rude to you, Mrs. Gandhi.
In a parliamentary democracy, is a judge competent to override what Parliament has done? The decision I took was ratified by the Cabinet and by the Parliament. It was not only accepted, it was applauded by the entire nation. Had we held the elections in 1976, we would have won hands down. Now, we did not hold the elections because the state of the economy was such at that time. The political situation was all right. But the state of the economy meant that we could see that if we continued, I don't mean us as people, but the policies we were pursuing, if they continued, we could give India a sound and stable economy.
Why was it
Had we held the elections then, this would not have been possible. Therefore, we jeopardized our political future and chose giving political stability to, economic stability and soundness to India, rather than saying, well, let us be sure of our election.
Why then was it necessary to imprison Mr. Morarji Desai, who then became Prime Minister of India? Was he an economic threat to the state?
No, these were the people who were destroying democracy.
Destroying democracy?
Destroying democracy.
How?
Because, well, I'm sorry that you people have such short memories, but because they felt they could not win an election, they said, we must take the battle to the streets. Mr. Morarji Desai is on record in an interview having said, we are going to surround the Prime Minister's house, we are going to surround Parliament, we will see that no business is done. That the Prime Minister cannot come out, nobody can go in. Another member of the opposition, now a minister, said that if we cannot win by the ballot, we shall win by the bullet. Somebody else incited the police and the army.
That was J.P. Naran, who said disobey illegal orders. He said, why couldn't you have taken, why could I just ask you, why couldn't you have used the law that you already had available to you to arrest these people if they were breaking the law?
I'm afraid, you see, India is not a small country like the UK. It is a very big country and very complex problems. And in the whole country, they had created an atmosphere of extreme indiscipline, so that somebody like Mr. Galbraith said it seems to be a functioning anarchy, but it was not functioning, it was becoming an non-functioning anarchy. And at that moment, if we had not stopped it, India would not have survived. Now, unfortunately, the dealings of the present government are taking India along that path once again. The only difference is that because we left a very sound economy, that momentum is sustaining the government.